God's people said.
Amen.
Maybe we just need to go on home. Well, we've been wrapping up. We're going to wrap up today this series, this three-part series. And when God feels far away. The point of this series is to remind us all, when we feel frustrated with God sometimes, or we feel frustrated about unanswered prayer, or we feel like God is just not paying attention to us. That it's common. It's common, and you don't have to lose your faith over that. So I'm going to ask you a question that all of us have asked, I'm sure, sometime in our life. Whether it's something going on in our personal life or something going on around the world. The question is, why doesn't God do something about that? Now, the interesting thing about that is, you don't have to look very far to find that. That might be sitting right next to you this morning. You'll get that when you go home. Or that might be at home waiting on you. Or that might be the boss you have at work. Or that might be the person that you work with at work. That might be that in your life. Or it may be something more serious, like an illness. It could be that. Or something you're struggling with. I want to ask you this question. Why doesn't God do something about that? To bring us the question, why doesn't He do something about those things in our life that seem like they're just going array, going crazy? So if you ever ask that question, why doesn't God do something about that? I want you to raise your hand. Ever come through your mind? A few of you? The rest of you just sail right through life. Praise the Lord. He's right there with you all the time. And this is the most important thing. This is a big lesson for us to learn today. When you're in one of those personal bats, it's a big deal. You need to know you can maintain faith. You can maintain hope. You can believe in God that He's going to get you through it. You can continue to press on even though there are some things you just don't understand why God doesn't do something about that. This is amazing that Jesus was so concerned about this question. Why God doesn't do something about that He didn't just have a little talk about it. He illustrated it for His disciples. Jesus actually created that He didn't do anything about that. So that we would know how to respond to that when that takes place. You understand that? Are you hanging here with me? In other words, Jesus created an illustration. He created His own drama. And so He could dip into this His own drama so He could explain to us and to the world that you could understand, you could believe, and continue to believe, even when you look around and wonder why God doesn't do something about that. So the story today begins with John chapter 11. If you want to follow along with your Bible, if you just want to follow along on the screen, that's fine as well. But we begin chapter 11. And if you're using the Bible, I want you to ignore the heading up there. If just got the heading about somebody, I want you to pretend like you've never heard this story before in your life. See, when John wrote this story, the people who read it for the first time had never heard about it. And so that's where we want to be at. In this story, there's so much drama, and you and I are in this story. So all of us at times have felt like God is inattentive, He's uncooperative, or He's late. So we've been looking at three men over these last 3 weeks in the New Testament. And Jesus knew their names. Jesus was concerned about them. Jesus used them. God loved them. But they went through some terrible stuff. Difficult times, wondering if God was inattentive, if He was uncooperative, or late. So what we've been talking about these last 3 weeks isn't some kind of emotional, satisfying thing. We don't leave the service thinking, man, all my problems have solved now, everything's glorious. No. We come to understand that we go through some difficult times, some tough times. And in those tough times, we don't have to lose faith. We don't have to. Because God is there for us. He loves us. He's right there with us. And you're wondering sometimes, can I believe God? Can I continue to trust in God? You just need to know that people that God loves so much, that He cared about so much, still went through some difficult times. But God still loved them. God still cared about them. So now we're on to chapter 11. The famous story. Let's all experience this thing together this morning for the first time. Now a man named Lazarus was sick. He was from Bethany, the village of Mary and her sister Martha. He goes on to say in verse 2, this Mary, whose brother Lazarus now lay sick, was the same one who poured perfume on the Lord and wiped His feet with her hair. Now, you can understand who he's talking about here, who John's talking about. There's several Marys in the Bible. We know exactly who he's talking about. Now, in the first century, when people read this, they went, that's the Mary. That's who he's talking about. Because, see, people had heard the story about the Mary who poured the perfume on Jesus' feet and wiped it with her hair. So let's continue. So the sisters sent word to Jesus, Lord, the one you love is sick. And Jesus is about a day and a half away, a walk away from where they are. How would you like to be known as the one that Jesus loved? How would you like to have that name? Your name's not even mentioned. It's just the one that Jesus loved. And here's his name tag. Go ahead. Next one. Jesus loves me. That's his name tag. Wouldn't it be something to have that? They sent this message to Jesus, knowing this. They had seen Jesus heal strangers. They had seen Jesus stand out in the hot sun with the line so long they couldn't even see the end. And He would heal them. And that's why they sent a letter. So the story continues in verse 4. When He heard this, Jesus said, this sickness will not end in death. No, it is for God's glory, so that God's Son may be glorified through it. God. So why is Lazarus sick? It's for my glory. And for the glory of my Son. Well, I thought sickness was a bad thing. Well, it is. But this sickness is used for a good thing. For the glory of God. Wait a minute. They never told me this in Sunday school. I didn't get this in Sunday school. The sickness was used for your glory. Well, Jesus says, I'm going to show you a new that. And I'm about to give you light into your darkness. I'm about to give you hope where you don't think you have any hope. So now John, who is writing this story, realizes the story is about to take a crazy turn. A crazy turn. Before John tells us what's going to happen next, he gives us a little commentary. Just to make sure we don't stop believing, we don't stop reading the story. And here's what he says. Now Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. You got that? He says, I love them. John tells us that. He stops the story and makes sure that we know that. Why are you telling us that, John? Because you're not going to believe what's going to take place next. You're not going to believe it. And if you did believe it, you would think that Jesus doesn't love Lazarus at all. So when he heard that Lazarus was sick, he stepped where he was 2 or 4 days, and then he said to his disciples, Jesus did, let us go back to Judea. He's a couple days away. We're going to go back to Judea. Wait, Jesus. You just told us that you love Lazarus. Sure, if you love any of the three of these people, Mary or Martha or Lazarus, you want to go right now and get some help for them. I can just imagine the disciples after they got this message that Lazarus was sick and he was dying, and Jesus, we're going to go right now. Let's all gather up and stuff. And Jesus says, no, we're not going right now. Y'all just sit right back down. I'm going to talk to you about a few more things, and we're going to go, but we're not going right now. But they said, Rabbi, a short while ago, the Jews, they tried to stone you, and yet you are going back. Jesus says, I'm going to go back to see Lazarus. I'm going to go back to Bethany. I'm going to go back to this place. But they said, no, Lord, the Jews tried to kill you. The leaders wanted you dead. And Jesus, when they tried to stone you and they missed the stones at you, they hit us. And we don't want to go back there. We don't want to get involved in that mess. And so, the disciples were worried about themselves more than about Jesus. And in this story, Jesus does what he always does. Everybody's profound. Everybody's got something to say. They've got it all worked out. And Jesus says this to them. He says, are there not 12 hours of daylight? Huh? I thought we were talking about going back to destiny, about somebody going to throw rocks at us and stone us and kill us. I thought that's what we was talking about. But yeah, we was, but aren't there 12 hours of daylight? Okay. That's not what Jesus would do. In this moment, Jesus does a little teaching, and they have no idea what he's talking about. And Peter goes, John, Phil goes, John, write it down. We know we don't understand it right now, but it's going to be something great, so write it down. So John writes it down. He starts recording it down. John writes it down, and when you get to the end of the story, and you look at this story at the very end, it's evident what Jesus is saying to them. Now in John chapter 11, there, verse 9 and 10, it says, those who walk in the daytime will not stumble, for they see by the world's light. It's when people walk at night that they stumble, for they have no light. That's profound. That is profound. What are you talking about, Jesus? What are you talking about? Now, it's so important right here. When Jesus says that there is 12 hours of daylight, what he's talking about is opportunity. You have 12 hours of daylight. You have opportunity to get something done in those 12 hours of daylight. But when the sun goes down, you lose your opportunity. It's gone. And Jesus is saying to these guys, you can stay here if you want to, but I'm going on to Bethany. But I'm not going to be here for a very long time. I'm going to be here for a while, I'm going to be gone. And eventually, I'm leaving this earth. And when I leave this earth, the light goes out. And you're back in the darkness. So you need to learn all you can. So guys, if you're going to follow me, you need to follow me to Bethany. I'm about to give you a candle, a light that will never burn out. But you've got to experience it. You've got to be there to see it. So get up off your rear ends and let's go. Let's get to where we need to be. So while you're having the opportunity, let's do it. He said, I know you're afraid. I know you're concerned about what's going to happen to you, but if you stay here, you're about to miss the opportunity of a lifetime. I'm about to give you this light that you're going to use for the rest of your life. The opportunity to see what I want to show you that never ends forever. So let's go to Judea. So in verse 11 it says, after he had said this, he went on to tell them, our friend Lazarus has fallen asleep, but I'm going there to wake him up. And the disciples replied, they're going to get Jesus a little medical advice now, you see. They replied, Lord, if he sleeps, he'll get better. Let's just stay right here. Jesus has been speaking of his death, but his disciples thought he meant natural sleep. And so then he told them plainly, Lazarus is dead. Lazarus is dead. Jesus makes probably the most possible, maybe the most possible insistent statement he ever made in the Bible. At least one of the two. He turns to his closest followers and says, and for your sake, I am glad I was not there. Wait a minute. You knew he was going to die? You knew that? Yeah. And you let Mary and Martha nurse their brother until he dies? You did it on purpose? And you're glad you stayed here and didn't go back there? Yeah. Okay, Jesus, I know you're in big illustrations. You like doing all kinds of parables and confusing us all the time, but what are you trying to say here? And Jesus goes on to say, and he goes on to give us his purpose statement, and our purpose statement. He says this, so that you may believe. That's a statement. I'm going because You got to see this so that you will believe. So let's go to Him. So it's so valuable to you that we believe in you, that you would allow someone to die to bring us to a full, grown-up faith. Yeah, it's that important. That's a different category, isn't it? Have you ever thought about that in Sunday school class? Have you ever taught that when you was a little child in Sunday school? That Jesus allowed somebody to die to show us we need to believe? Might just wreck some of y'all's theology. And Jesus created that so we could understand what God is doing when God doesn't do the thing that we think God ought to be doing. And God ought to do. And then He goes on to John 11:16. Then Thomas said to the rest of the disciples, let us also go that we may die with Him. Y'all watch Winnie the Pooh? Eeyore, there he is, right there. Oh, Eeyore, there he is. You might have one in your family. You might have one sitting right next to you, I don't know. But it's a little funny. Let us go that we may die with Him. Lazarus is dead and the Jews are going to stone Jesus. Then they're going to stone us. It's going to be a massive funeral. Let us all go in the pool down there to Lazarus so we can all die. That's where he was right there. That was it. Then it goes on. On his arrival, Jesus found that Lazarus had already been in the tomb for 4 days. Just what Brandon was singing about. And here's where we have to pause and understand this drama for a moment. Back in Bethany, Lazarus is dying without any morphine. He's dying without any drugs. He's just dying. The pain, whatever's taking place, he's going downhill. And so they sent this message to Jesus. And we know what happened. They know what happened. There's Mary and Martha on their knees around Lazarus' bed, around him and wiping the sweat off his brow because he's dying. And they said, Lazarus, don't worry about it. We sent word to Jesus and He's coming. He's coming. He's coming. We know what He can do. We've seen Him heal the sick. We've seen Him do it. We've seen Him in big long lines. We've also seen Him in the Roman Empire homes. And He's even healed Romans. He's going to be here. Just hang on, Lazarus. Just hang on. Jesus will be here. We have absolute faith that Jesus will be here. Then they waited, and they waited, and they waited. The community around them, they waited, and they watched. Then Lazarus died. Still no Jesus. Surely He will come today. Then they had to bury Lazarus. We know Jesus is coming now. He's going to be here for the funeral. He's going to be here for this. But still no Jesus. So they wrapped Lazarus for burial. Like they would wrap Jesus just several days later for burial. And they laid Him in a tomb. And they rolled the stone in front of Him. And they probably sealed it. And then they began to mourn and still no Jesus. Isn't that where we live sometimes? Isn't that the inattentive, uninterested, late? I thought You cared about me, God. Sometimes we think about and go to. And Jesus created that so that we could carry hope into our futures. That's how important this lesson was to your Savior and to mine. Upon His arrival, Jesus had found that Lazarus had been in the tomb for 4 days. 4 days is important. It's important because in the first century, they believed the spirit of the dead person would hover around somebody for 3 days. After they died, they would hover around them. And on the 4th day, it would be gone. So when Jesus shows up and He's 4 days late, they know it's done too late. The spirit's done left, it's done gone. There's no way He's coming back. And so Jesus, 4 days later, showed up on the scene. And in their superstitions, they knew it was already gone. Can you imagine how embarrassing it was for the disciples? They come walking in after Jesus behind Him, and everybody's saying, well, you done too late. Where was you guys at? Now you're going to show up? The audacity you had to show up now, the insult you had to show up now. They asked you to come, and you all didn't come. They asked you to be here, and you didn't show up, and you didn't show up for the funeral, and He's been in the tomb for 4 days, and now you're going to show up? I can't believe y'all have the nerve to step up in this place. So, in verse 20, when Martha heard that Jesus was coming, she went out to meet him, but Mary stayed at home. You ever wonder why Mary stayed at home? You ever think Mary might have been mad? Heartbroken? Upset? She stayed at home. She wasn't going out to see Jesus. You ever been there? You ever been going through struggles in your life and I'm not going to talk to God today. I'm not going to talk to him because I'm mad at him. I'm upset with him. That's where Mary was. She was at home. But Martha goes out to see him. And she falls at his feet. And Martha said to Jesus, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. This is your fault, Jesus. It's your fault this took place. This is your doing. But I know that even now God will give you whatever you ask, he said. And listen to Jesus' response. Jesus said to her, your brother will rise again. And Martha answered, I know he will rise again in the resurrection of the last day, at the last day. This is where people try to console you when somebody passes away. They console you. Your brother's in a better place. Or you'll see her again. Martha's like, don't give me some kind of theology lesson right now. I don't need it. I don't want that. I know we'll all be reunited in heaven. I understand that. You should have been here. And Jesus looks at her in the eye and says something that only a crazy person would say. Or an impostor would say. Or perhaps the Son of God would say. He looks this angry woman who loved her brother and thought she knew who Jesus was. And he says to her what he says to you. I am the resurrection and the life. I am the resurrection. I am the resurrection and the life. And anyone who believes in me will live even though they die. Whoever lives by believing in me will never die. He asked her a question. He asked all of us. And he asked a question that will mean different things to you, different stages of your life, and different difficulties in your life. He asked a question that was easy to believe when you were 6 years old. He asked you a question that was easy to believe when you were 12 years old. It got a little harder when you become 22, and 32, and 42, and maybe 62, maybe 72. It became harder and harder. But he asked you this question. After he said, I am the resurrection, he said, do you believe this? Do you believe this? Do you believe in me? Can you believe that Jesus would set this up for their sake, he says, and for our sake? He says, yes, Lord. She told me, I believe that you are the Messiah, the Son of the God who comes into the world. And then she runs back and tells Mary, you've got to go see the Master. Before they all get here, before he gets here and everybody's around him, go see the Master now and talk to him. And so Mary runs out to see Jesus and basically has the same question Martha had. And John tells us when Jesus saw her weeping, and the Jews who came along with her also weeping, he was deeply moved in spirit and troubled. Then he asked this question. Where have you laid him? He already knew where he was, but where have you laid him? Come and see, Lord, they replied. Either on the way or when he got there, John records for us something that it's astounding. It helps us understand that when we are going through the most difficult times in our lives, even though God could have, God should have, I would have, you probably would have, showed up. It's not because he's distant. God has the ability to enter into your deepest pain, even when he chooses to do nothing about it. And Jesus paused, knowing exactly what was about to transpire, knowing exactly how it was about to take place in the story. He knew what was going to take place, but he paused. Because he wanted us to understand that he felt our pain. He knows what we go through. And he says, Jesus wept. It's as if he was saying, I'm not too big to understand. I'm not some distant God out there. I'm with you. I'm right there with you. I'm not too distant to understand that when you suffer and when you hurt and when you feel like God is distant, I know. I'm getting ready to go to the cross. And God's going to turn his back. I know. Then the Jews said, what we would say, see how he loved him? But some of them said, could not he who opened the eyes of the blind man have kept this man from dying? Why didn't he do something about that? Then Jesus, once more deeply moved, came to the tomb. It was a cave and a stone and the cross, the entrance. Take away the stone, he said. But Lord, said Martha, the sister of the dead man, about this time there is a bad odor, for he has been in there for 4 days. They weren't expecting this. They were already confused. Lazarus was already dead. He was gone. They would maybe see him again in heaven. And so it goes on in 11:40. And Jesus said, "Did I not tell you that if you believe, you will see the glory of God?" In verse 41 it says, "So they took away the stone. Then Jesus looked up and said, Father, I thank you that you have heard me. I knew that you would always hear me, but I said this for the benefit of the people standing here, that they may believe that you sent me." This is about me, so that they may see you, God. And Jesus, you're telling us it was worth all of this drama and all of this pain for us to learn the connection between you and God. Yes, I think it was worth it. In John 11:43 says, when he had said this, Jesus called in a loud voice, "Lazarus, come forth." The dead man came out. His hands and feet were wrapped with strips of linen and a cloth around his face. And Jesus said to them, "Take off the grave clothes and let him go." Let him go. Do you know why Jesus had to tell them to take off the grave clothes and let him go? Because they was all standing like that. What in the world is going on? I thought he was gone. It's been 4 days. His spirit's left. What is going on? Jesus had a big smile on his face. Oh boy. Y'all don't know what happened. This is the biggest understatement in the Bible, probably. In the Bible. It says, therefore, many of the Jews who had come to visit Mary and had seen what Jesus did put their faith in him. I bet they did. I bet they put all their faith in him. Everybody in the whole town put their faith in him because they saw what he did. This guy had been dead for 4 days. Then they realized there's nothing that he can't do. So here's the question. Why doesn't God do something about that? Something about that in my life. Something about those things that are going crazy in the world. Why does God do something about that? Well, the answer is we don't know sometimes. But here's what we do know. Because this day in Bethany, when Jesus and some of the people he loved, we know that he came. He came. And sometimes he waits. And we know we can trust him in the meantime. Why doesn't God do something about that? I don't know. But what I do know is, I know sometimes he can. And sometimes he waits. And I know I can trust him in the meantime. I know I can trust him in the meantime because he made me this promise. In 11:40, if you believe, you will see the glory of God. If you will just wait on it, you're going to see the glory of God in the midst of your problem. If you will continue to believe, he will leverage your struggle for his glory and the glory of his Son for your good if you continue to trust him. See, it's not emotionally satisfying, but it's the thing that God has given us to hang on to in the midst of the darkest problems we have. It was the candle that he handed to the disciples because he knew that there would be a time when they would watch him be arrested. They would watch him be tried. They would watch him be put on the cross to die, and there would be no hope. And yet they would remember. Why would God allow that? We don't know. What we do know is we know that he could do something about it. And something about it, we know that sometimes he waits, and we know that we can believe in the meantime. That would be their message after Jesus left this earth. It's been the message of hope ever since. It's the message of the church ever since. And if you continue to believe and trust, you will probably catch a glimpse of the glory of God in the midst of that very thing that you're convinced of, that God should do something about it. So when God is inattentive, you look outside your circumstances like John the Baptist did. Remember what he did a few weeks ago? And when God is uncooperative, you lean into His grace that we talked about last week, because Paul told us that His grace will be sufficient for you, even during those tough circumstances. And when you feel like God is late, you look for His glory. You look for His glory when you think He's late. See, because if you believe, if you continue to trust, you will eventually see the glory of God. The glory of God. This morning, if you trust in God, eventually, you're going to understand about the cross. You're going to understand what that's all about. You're going to understand that He died for your sins. That we're all sinners. That we all deserve separation from God and everlasting hell. That's what we deserve. But God allowed Jesus to step in to take our place. How many years took place before Jesus showed up on the scene that they had to sacrifice a lamb to be forgiven of sins? How many years took place? And then God sends Jesus, the perfect Lamb, to take the sins of the world. This morning, do you have sin in your life? Are you separated from God? Will you put your trust in Jesus today? You come this morning as we sing.